All right, here's a question for you guys. Do the Denver Nuggets have the best young core in the NBA? Plot twist, the answer is absolutely. Okay. And who do we compare them to? Right? So the first one that comes to mind for me, the Celtics, right? Tatum and Brown. Maybe Robert Williams, throw him in there, whatever. It's still like nowhere near what the Nuggets have. Okay. Um, who else? The Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Ja. Good, absolutely, absolutely. Both fantastic players. I'm still taking the Nuggets. The Pelicans, Zion. Man, Zion is crazy. Brandon Ingram is a really good player as well. And if they keep Lonzo, throw Lonzo in there. Still the Denver Nuggets. Man, the Nuggets have the best young core in the NBA. Like I at this point, yeah, it's an opinion, sure, sure. But Jokic, Murray, Gordon, Porter Jr. Man, hell, throw Bowl in there, dude. Like this is the best young core in the NBA. This team has a chance to be a dynasty that can keep these guys together. Okay, Jokic is your MVP, right? I'm not gonna spend too much time on him. You know how good he is. He can score in any way possible. I'm more athletic than Nikola Jokic, but the dude can score, and he can pass, and he can rebound, and he actually plays pretty good defense. He's the MVP. He's probably the best center in the league. Probably, I think so. I think I like him more than Embiid. I go back and forth on that pretty consistently, but he's a good player, right? And then look at Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray got hurt last year, very unfortunate, but he was averaging over 20 points a game, 6 assists, a couple rebounds here and there. Not great defensively. He's fine, right? But whatever. He's good offensively. He's going to keep progressing offensively. He's going to give you 20 points. He's going to give you 6 or 7 assists. Like he's going to be a really good player. And his chemistry with Jokic in the pick and roll is absolutely crazy. Like those two together, like that's like a good. That's a good start, right? Even if you just have those two, just those two. Don't even talk about anybody else on this roster. Don't look at them. Just those two. That's one of the best cores in the NBA right there, right? And then you throw in Aaron Gordon, go one down right there. $16 million a year for Aaron Gordon. I get it. The dude's a meme. He made a rap song about how he can't win a dunk contest. I get it. Whatever. But he's a good basketball player. He really is. Yeah, his offense disappeared in the playoffs, but he can play defense. He's versatile. He can shoot. He's a good shooter. He's a decent playmaker. He's a good player, especially for $16 million a year. They traded a lot to get Aaron Gordon, so I'm assuming they're going to want to keep him there for at least a couple more years. He's a good player. And then the one I'm most excited about, Michael Porter Jr. This dude is a stud. Nuggets fans, you have to be like on a whole other planet because of Michael Porter Jr. It's crazy. 6'10", shoots 45% from the field. Improved on defense quite a bit this year, actually. He's going to get you 8-9 rebounds. And like I said, he's going to score a little over 20 points a game, if not more. This guy, right? Think Kevin Durant. Think Brandon Ingram, right? Like this dude is that same like mold. He's nowhere near as good as KD. I don't think he ever will be, but he could be better than Brandon Ingram. He absolutely could be. He's bigger than Ingram, I think, right? He's good, is my point, and he's improved a lot. And Mike Malone is finally playing him because he's more of a complete player. He's still not great on defense, but he's athletic and he's long. Like he can improve on defense. It's just about him wanting to. He's a good player. He's on a rookie contract, so only making $5 million. He's a good player. He is so like he is. The ceiling is the roof with Michael Porter Jr. You know what I mean? Like he can be a stud. I actually low key, and this is a bit of a hot take, I feel like, but I think Michael Porter Jr. is y'all's second best player. I'm sure there's going to be some disagreement there, but I think he is your second best player. This off season for the Nuggets probably isn't going to be very exciting. Murray's going to be out for the first half of next year, um, which is unfortunate. He tore his ACL or whatever he did to his leg. He should make a full recovery. There's no reason for them to rush him back. They have Monty Morris. They have Compazzo. That they can kind of supplement for the time being. And who knows what they're going to do this offseason. George Carl is talking about how they should go after Lonzo. No, I don't know. I mean, George Carl's smarter than I am with basketball, but that that doesn't make any sense to me, honestly. Like, I mean, how much are you gonna have to pay Lonzo? 20 million, maybe a little more. I don't know. That just doesn't make any sense to me. There's rumors of them going after Lowry. Lowry's gonna want a lot of money, and I don't know. That just doesn't make any sense. And in my personal opinion, right, and more realistically too, this offseason is going to look a lot like them just re-signing Will Barton. Now, if they don't sign Will Barton, that's where things get a bit more interesting. Because that'll free up 15 million or so in cap space, and you can kind of maybe bring somebody new in there. But their main goal should be bringing in Barton. He's going to be the best player they can really afford, without like doing a bunch of financial stuff, which they can, right? That's they have a guy there that does that specifically, but most realistic path for the Nuggets this offseason is just re-sign Will Barton and run it back. And that's what they should do, in my personal opinion. They can stay afloat without Murray for the first half of the season. Monty Morris is a good player. He really is. And you don't really need him to run the offense. You can run the offense through Jokic. Gordon can facilitate. I mean, Porter Jr. can't really. He's getting better at it, but he's not going to run the offense through him. But the point being is Monty Morris doesn't have to do much when he's on the court. In terms of like running the offense, that can all be done through Jokic. And again, Gordon when Jokic isn't on the court. And just wait for Murray to get back. This roster is very exciting, though. It is very well put together. One guy I want to mention, too, is one of the guys at the bottom of this list, PJ Dozier. Not Bobo, but PJ Dozier. Dude's a stud on defense. With him on the court last year, the Nuggets averaged 105 points given up per 100 possessions. Dozier's actually one of the best defenders in the NBA. Problem is he can't score. But if he can improve on that end, if he can bring up his three-point shooting percentage from 31% to 36, 37%, he's going to see 25 minutes a game instead of just 20. And he can be a great asset for you guys. I like PJ Dozier a lot. And so do the Nuggets. Like, he has showed improvement. He got hurt last year, unfortunately. It would have been a nice time for him to play, especially with Murray being out. He would have had some more time to play and really improve. But he's a good player. He just has to improve on the offensive end. And again, the nice thing about that is, like, with this roster, like, those kind of players, like, yeah, he needs to improve on the offensive end quite a bit. But, like, if he just improves his spot-up shooting and just run it through Jokic, right, then he's going to play 25, 28 minutes a game. And if you can get 11, 12 points out of him, and like I said, 35, 36% from three, and he just plays shutdown defense, this team is built fantastically. I can't stress that enough. If you can keep Dozier and Gordon, and you stick them on the best players on the other team, like, that's good, dude. That's good, man. This roster is so exciting, right? Put Dozier on Booker. Put Dozier on Donovan Mitchell, right? Like, those are the kind of things you can do, and just have him harass those players, and then just have him shoot 35% from three. That's all you need. That's all you need from him, and like, that is a great role player for you guys. Michael Green is probably gone. I think he opted out already. Could be wrong on that, but he probably will. Whatever. I mean, you guys can re-sign him or not. It doesn't really matter. He's a good player. He can stretch the floor a little bit. He can play defense. He's a decent rebounder. He's a solid player. But it's not the worst thing in the world if he leaves. You can find somebody to replace him. But man, this roster is built fantastically. In my personal opinion, I feel like this is my favorites to win the West next year if they stay healthy for right now before we really jump into free agency because a lot can happen. These guys are my favorites to win the West next year, and they could easily build a dynasty if they can keep this roster together. Look how young these guys are. I mean, Campazzo's 0 years old, apparently. This roster's fantastic. Again, it's built around Jokic. Um, dude's a stud. Again, MVP last year. You can't really. There's not much to say else about him. I know I mentioned this before, but I can't stress this enough. I feel like people think he's not a good defender. He is. I get it. He's unathletic, and he does things a little goofy, but he's actually pretty good on defense. He really is. He could win multiple MVPs easily. He can win multiple championships with this team easily. The only thing that, well, not the only thing, there's a lot of things that could happen. But the one thing I'm concerned with is if you guys can keep Michael Porter Jr. He seems like the kind of guy that's going to want money. I don't know him. And he's grown up a lot since the bubble. He really has. If you watch any of his interviews then and then now, he's grown up a lot. If you watch how Mike Malone talks about him, he's grown up a lot. But I could see him wanting a big contract. And can the Nuggets give it to him? Absolutely. But obviously, their main priority should be keeping Jokic, which Jokic pretty much the opposite of Porter Jr. I don't see him wanting to go to LA or to anywhere big. I could see him just wanting to resign and stay in Denver. Right? If they took him in the second round, they took a chance with him. Jokic reminds me a lot of Giannis personality wise, except he's a little bit goofier. But he's a franchise player. Your main priority is keeping Jokic in Denver forever for his career. Right? Like that's priority number A for Nuggets is don't let Jokic go. Um, Aaron Gordon, you guys gave up a lot for him. You will resign him. I would assume you didn't give up RJ Hampton and some picks for a rental. And he's still young. Depends on what he wants for a contract. If he, for whatever reason, wants a stupid amount of money, then yeah, maybe let him walk, whatever. But assuming he wants to win, and since he spent so much time in Orlando just losing, it probably feels nice to win some games. So let's see, keep him for, he's making 16 right now. Hell, you can bump that up to 20 and it'll still be a good contract. He's a good player. I know Nuggets fans, I honestly, I don't know how you guys feel about him because he did not play great in the bubble. Offensive, or not in the bubble, in the playoffs offensively. But his defense was very important for you guys. Unfortunately, it's not really what you needed. You needed another scorer because Murray was out. So you need him to score more, which he didn't really do. He's going to be a streaky shooter. He's going to be a streaky scorer, but he still has room to grow too. He really does. He's only 26 years old. He's only 26, and he's athletic. He can play defense. He can still improve quite a bit. He really can. You guys are in a great spot. Nuggets fans, I envy you. Right? And I said this before. I'm a Heat fan. Okay, and we have a pretty decent roster. We have a pretty decent young star with Bam. Man, I can't help but look at this roster and be like, man, these guys can be a dynasty, dude, for a long time. They're good. They're good. So yeah, I'm curious if you guys think that Denver has the best young core because I definitely do, and I don't think it's really close. I really don't. Like I would be if there are fans of other teams with young cores, like Boston, like New Orleans. I'm curious if what your argument is for how you guys are better. I don't know if there is one, to be honest with you. They have four legitimate young pieces on this team that are in their mid-20s or younger. They're good, man. They're gonna be good for a long time. Hopefully, they can keep this core together. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the Nuggets. Let me know what you think. Again, are they the best young core in the NBA? Can they be the next big dynasty? Lakers fans, are you scared of them? Like you should be. Honestly, you really should be. This team's gonna be good. This team's gonna be really good. Small side note: there have been rumors of Lakers going after Chris Paul. Even if you get Chris Paul, I still think you lose to Denver. I really do. Just my personal opinion. I mean, it's gonna be tough because LeBron's gonna be on that mission to get his buddy a championship ring. But assuming Michael Porter keeps progressing, and assuming Jamal Murray comes back healthy, this is the best team in the West. I mean, who's better? Portland's going to fall off unless they make some big moves, and they could absolutely. LA is old. I mean, Memphis is good. Memphis is scary. They played really well last year without Jaren Jackson. They could be a good team, but still, they're not. They're not Denver. The Suns. I'm sorry, Suns fans, but like, what are you guys gonna do? The best you can do is hope Chris Paul opts out and then spend that money on some younger players. And the Suns are good. Like, they're not a bad team by any means, but a lot of their run was due to injuries, which leads me to the Clippers. Clippers are good, obviously. Right, Kawhi and Paul George. They would probably be the closest ones to Denver, I would think. But I still, I don't know. I still take Denver healthy wise. Okay, everybody's healthy, right? Everything's even. All players are healthy right now because there's the free agency hasn't happened yet, so things could change. But right now, I still take Denver, healthy Denver. Utah is Utah. I'm not worried about Utah. I'm not gonna lie to you. Gobert got exposed. I'm sorry, Jazz fans, if you guys are in here. You guys have a boat anchor making $200 million. All right, he's got it. Like, Gobert has got to improve on offense. He can't be that much of a liability there. Otherwise, like, he legitimately should have been on the bench during the playoffs, and you guys may have been better off. I'm sorry. It sucks to say. I like the Jazz. I love Donovan Mitchell. And I get it, right? Gobert has to be a good player. But man, I feel like every time I watch Gobert play, he looks lost every time. And that might just be me watching, just happen to watch his bad games, but he looks lost every time. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks for dropping in.